Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation. I'm your host, Quan, and today, we're going to be talking about wizards, witches, spells to spelling, and mindset. Hope everyone's been having a good day. I'm going to jump in. Here we go. So, the movies that I'll be picking from or the material that I'll be picking from is some stuff from Harry Potter. And just as usual, to give a little history, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the book came out in 1997. But the first movie came out in 2001. We'll also be talking a little bit about Hocus Pocus, which came out in 1993. Very funny, very good Halloween movie, I'd say. And The Craft, which came out in 1996. But to clarify, this is my interpretation on how magic is supposed to work. Because I know besides real magic and religions that deal with it is a pretty much base like Wiccans, I'm going off the movies and the series. None of this is for that. It's at a small level, very small level, but this will most likely hit on a mental and possibly spiritual level. So when we look up magic on Wikipedia, it is the practice of beliefs, rituals, and or actions which are said to control and manipulate either natural or supernatural beings and forces. Now, that's the Wikipedia version. Wikipedia also talks about spells and spelling. We talk about a spell in one way, it means write or name the letters that spell that form a word in a correct sequence. But using spell as a noun, it could also be a form of words used as a magical charm or instruction. It can be a state of enchantment, like this weather's got me under a spell. An ability to control or influence people as though one had magical power over them. And that could be applied to a person, an item, or a place. So, about the first noun of that and the last noun of that. An ability to control and influence people as one had magical powers over them. Let's think about how words in general are like that. Saying a sentence or a word is possibly like casting a spell, but instead of it, being in the physical realm, if we go deep into it, it's not as effective as it is on your or someone else's mind or others' minds. For instance, if I say something nice to you, you are affected even at a minor level. And try this out. Give this a shot. I've tried this multiple times. As some of y'all know, as I may have talked about before, I'm quite a nice guy. I usually pick out and see certain things and comment on. And I usually go like, hey, that's a nice. I'll go in, I'll talk to somebody, I'll do my usual thing, but I want to get this or I want to get that. It's like, and I pretty much notice, I observe, like, hey, that's a nice shirt. Hey, I like your nails. Hey, that's a cool hat. Or nowadays, in some cases, hey, I like your mask. And the fact that when you say that, most of the time, the people that you say that to, you can notice it at that level. Most of the time when you say that to somebody, they just go like, oh, thank you. And, you can see they got a little more pep in their step. Like you cast a spell of encouragement. Think about that. The same happens when you or I say something mean to you. Like when you go up to someone and you don't like their shirt, you know, you don't really have to point out like, I don't like that shirt, but you say, hey, I do not like your shirt. They're affected by it. It's like you've cast a spell that makes them either a little bit more sad or conscious about it. Or in some cases, you may even cast a spell of like anger, because you say this like, well, this is my shirt. I don't know why you voicing your opinion on my shirt. But see the connect right there, that what we speak is like so powerful. It is like magic, that is so strong that when you say it in a certain time or say it a certain way, it either uplifts or puts down somebody. It gives them that pep in their step, or it makes them more less themselves, or in some cases more aggressive. Think about that for a moment, because I'm going deep here. I want you to like keep up with me. This is going to be real deep for you. So think about that. Everything you say to others, or even to yourself, you are affected by it. You are casting a spell. From how you say it, taking from Wingardium Leviosa from Harry Potter, or from how many people say it, the Dance Until You Die spell from Hocus Pocus, to even how many times you say it, the binding spell near the end of the movie The Craft. These things, those ways of how you say it. So you got how you say it, how many people may say it, and how many times y'all may say it. After enough times, those things can affect you. In fact, those things that affect you can be classified as affirmations, really. And the definition of affirmations, in a positive way, but also remember, this could be done in a negative way, is positive reminders or statements that can be used to encourage and motivate yourself and others. And this doesn't just go with affirmations, saying something a little bit multiple times. In martial arts, there's a technique that we use in martial arts called a kia, which as you're about to strike, you pretty much yell from the gut. Some people go kia, someone goes ai, and pretty much when you do that strike at the right moment and you sync it with your breath, with that sound that you're making, your strike is significantly stronger. And even in you see this even in boxing. Sometimes they'll yell, but most of the time they go tss, tss, they breathe out. And the reason why that happens is when you breathe out, not only is it reminding you to breathe during that time, but as you breathe out, it tenses your muscles real quick, which adds to more power. Think about that. That even when you're about to hit somebody, if you make a loud noise, or even if you make a noise, your strength, your power, your speed is increased by that point because you made that noise. You cast a spell of aggression. Think about that. When you think these words, self-talk, it dramatically changes your performance. When you think that uh, using, yeah, I guess using both you and me, for example, when, I'm thinking, when I had something going my way, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is good, this is great, like, this is a good day. Cast a spell that you're saying that it's a good day. And because of that, your mind is affected. And now, guess what? You're in a positive mood. I mean, that's why sometimes it's good for you to do things that you like through the day, because that affects you positively. It helps cast a spell of good energy and whatnot on you. Versus if you had something go on, or someone else does something, says something that kind of might put you down a little bit, and you just dwell on that for a little bit, to where it's like, well, I'm crap, I'm stupid, I'm insignificant, I can't do anything right. That casts a spell on you that affects you for possibly the rest of the day. You're going around with that energy of just like, I'm stupid, I'm insignificant. It carries with you. It affects you. Think of how powerful that is. Like, really dwell on that. That whatever you say to someone and whatever you say to yourself, you're literally casting a spell that affects you in that way. Say something good, cast a good spell. Casting a spell of encouragement, casting a spell of happiness, prosperity, abundance. Say something bad, whether it is to someone else or to yourself, you're casting a spell that disarms you, casting a spell of sadness, casting a spell of anger, casting a spell of low confidence. Let that sink in. That is highly effective. Think about that, how effective that is. So, how to cast spells more effectively, or get the most out of them? Well, I have some ideas as usual. First thing I'd say is say it confidently. And this is a tip from watching all the Harry Potter movies. When you see them training, when you see them casting the spell Leviosa, or any of the other classic spells, Stupefy, you see them not only training the wand and all this stuff, you see them training how to say it. Like, in the beginning it was like, Stupefy and Stupefy. 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 And pretty much, I believe that pretty much that training takes a amount of time, to where it's like you just eventually find a rhythm for yourself, to where you can just say it confidently and quickly, and there's no hiccups when you say it. Think about when you're doing that to yourself. Like when you're saying, I'm good. In the beginning, you don't feel it in your soul, or I can do this. You don't feel it in your soul. It doesn't click yet in your mind. But you say it enough times, you say it confidently. Eventually it sinks in. And then when you say it, it's like you have no words. Like, I'm good. Or, I'm good. Play with it. Say it confidently. Get it down. Get that training down. Second thing is find a chant or affirmation, or make one that inspires or encourages you. This one is from, or bounces you. I want to say this one possibly may come from Hocus Pocus, really. Or just like, when you think of a chant or affirmation, those can affect you. Those can bolster you up. One chant that I think everyone can probably benefit from is from a movie, Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is awesome, good movie. It's one of the few football movies that I just love. That's because it hits on so many deep subjects. It's a great movie on leadership, great movie on accepting people for who they are. It is awesome movie. But Well, the chants that like hit me hard and that I actually use and I can feel that zest for energy is pretty much when they've finally solidified as a team, and it's pretty much the last training session that they have. You see Denzel shouting out, it's like, who we are. You see the movements like mobile, agile, hostile. You see him voicing out, it's like, what is pain? Fresh bread. What is fatigue? Army clothes. You see him around, it's like, will you ever quit? It's like, no, we want some more. We want some more. We want some more. See, that's just, whoo, just that chant, that and you actually see this in a lot of movies. Like during war times, they may have a chant, that just voices them up, that gets them like amped up, And sometimes that chant doesn't even have to have, it may not even have to have words. It just may have a vibration. It may just need to be, like a movement, like a clap that just synchronizes, that rises. It could be a stomp that synchronizes, that rises, that is just so syncs everybody up that now because of he's doing it and they're doing it and everybody's doing it and then you're doing it, everybody's amped up. Everybody's like ready. They're just like pumped up, And chants are effective. Words are that effective. Keep that in mind. You want to have, one of those, a chant, an affirmation, or something like that to inspire you, to encourage you, to balance you. Because you may need it, Just like in the world out there, sometimes you may need something to bolster you up, to balance you, to encourage you, to put like that fire in your belly. And because of that, you just now like, whew, you're now just ready. You're set aflame. You're ready to do stuff. I got a little amped up on that one, you can tell. Third one. What you say and cast has a karma-like effect. Do good, get good. Do bad, eventually feel bad. And this is mostly taken from The Craft. Because, as you can see in the movie, if they do, some good stuff or they do some playful stuff, then most of the time it comes out good. It comes out, meaningless. It comes out positive most of the time. But once they do bad, it's like the universe feels that bad. It wants to send it back to them. I'm not going to go into detail in the scenes. I would suggest probably watch the movie just to get what I'm saying. But know that pretty much if you do bad onto someone or something or even yourself, you're pretty much allowing that bad to stick around or to intensify. And in some cases, if you do it to somebody, you allow that bad to come back at you. You ever realize that when you say something bad, in the first part you go like, yeah, they deserve that. They need it. And then after a while, no matter how long you go down the road, it could be hours, could be days, months, maybe even years, you feel that same effect somewhere. You go like, man, I shouldn't have said that. I should have just, went on my way, be quiet. And sometimes you can feel it. Sometimes when you do something that says I'm gonna do this for justice, sometimes you feel exhilarated, and other times later down the road it's like, for some reason I just feel drained. I just don't want to do anything right now. It's the karma effect of you doing that thing, saying that thing. From which once you say it, it comes back. And to end it on a nice little spiritual note, to pretty much what you say, it goes out and comes back. I usually view most actions that you do for people, most words that you speak out, or things that you do, it's like throwing a pebble in a pond. When you throw a pebble in a pond, a wave shoots out. And it shoots out. Now, that wave, depending on how big or strong it is, it may come back quicker, or it may take some time to come back. But as you can see, when the wave comes out, it hits the edges of the pond. And what happens when it hits the edges of the pond? Most of the time, it bounces back one more time. And then it hits at the same spot to where that pebble was. So keep that in mind. That your effects, that what you do, what you say, will come back to you. Like, there's no shortage of energy. It will pop up somewhere. It will affect you either in the outside, such as you say something and someone else may reciprocate it, or it may pop up on the inside to where, pretty much when you say it, it may affect you eternally. It may get you eternally. That's why most of the time, this is my personal belief, this is why most of the time I don't believe in doing insults. Like, joking sometimes, yes, but I rarely pull that card. Reason being is because, like, some people, myself included, sometimes when you make a jab at somebody, sometimes they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, and they can take the joke. And other times you make a jab at someone, and all of a sudden you see them kind of wince a little bit, like, okay. And you see them like affected by it. And then you're just like, oh no, I didn't mean for that. Like, you have to remind them, it's like, hey, I'm joking. Or, hey, don't take it seriously. It happens. It happens to me. This is why I, most of the time, do not play with insulting people or joking around with people. Like, I may do it sometimes, but most of the time it's like on a minute level. Like, if you knew me for sure, if you like talk to me, I'm more about boosting people up, growing people up, instead of putting them down. And sometimes I guess I might be known as the guy who encourages too much or gives a compliment too much. But I don't care. That's me. I want to make sure that when I see you, whether it's on a small level, I want to make you feel good. Like, I want to leave good energy. The quote that kind of pops up is from leave the world or leave that person better than when you found them. And most of the time, that's my mission, is that I'm going in, I want to say something that bolsters you up, and then as I dip out, I'll be like, hey, you have a good one. And that's it. Don't expect anything. Just want to leave you better than I found you. Or, in this case, than you found me. So, other than that, I hope everyone's having an awesome day. I have one more video, or I think I might have one more video. I'm having a busy week. It is Hallows Eve tomorrow, and on top of that, it's a full moon. I'm feeling the energy. It is evident right there. It is very awesome. It is great, and I also just love a full moon. I've jokingly said that I'm pretty much a werewolf, or been a werewolf in a past life, and the fact that this month has 2 full moons, I think that's a very big significance. That's saying something. And on top of that, that's like an event that happens once in a lifetime. I mean, when was the last time you heard about 2 full moons in a month? And then on top of that, in the month of October. Keep that in mind. Keep that aware. Keep your spiritualness aware. Remember, cast good spells. Cast bad spells unless you are either A, prepare for those bad spells to come back, or B, you're already sunk up, you'll accept what comes on. But, hope everyone has an awesome day, and deuces.